Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Kryptocraft with your host, Nighthawk. We're down here in the basement of the factory taking a look at our lava tank, and it is completely empty right now, which means that we pretty much are out of really both buildcraft power and industrial craft power. So, and the problem that we're having here is the pump station that I've been using in the Nether has not been completely reliable for us lately. It'll pump out for a couple hours and then it gets stuck and we end up running out of lava again. So I want to try to diversify our power. I do plan on going back and setting up the Nether pump station again once I get some components rebuilt after a bit of a blaze accident that I had. But for the time being, I think it would be a good idea to diversify our power systems here. And we're going to do that by using some bee power ultimately, but some steam engines. Now, the first thing that we are going to want to do, I've already got oily bees started. I don't actually have any of them in production at this moment, but what we're going to do is make use of the oily bees, and I'll probably get those upgraded to the refined bees later on as well. The refined bees make more, are more productive at the honeycomb making, but what we're going to end up with here is, well, honestly, it's based largely on the design that Generic Bee uses for the B team power. But we're going to have a little bit of our own twist to it. Won't be exactly the same. So, first of all, we are going to need a refinery. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up the factory end of this system first, at least to the point where it is functional. We might not have all of the kinks worked out of it or anything, but we'll at least get the basic system prepared and working. I'll probably have to borrow one of the batteries from one of the production systems up there just to get things kick-started. Let's get this torch out of the way. Inventory is always completely full, but that's the nature of the beast here. Nature of the feed the beast, I should say. Okay, so what we are going to end up with here is we will have our honeycombs are going to come into this centrifuge here, and let's basically I'm planning on using this conduit here to plug this power system into the rest of the factory. So we want to do this with that in mind. And the refining process is also going to take buildcraft power, but we want to keep the power output where it can be easily plugged in as well. So I'm thinking that we'll set up our boiler over here in this corner, and we're actually going to start with a little bit smaller of a boiler because I don't have as much power as I'd like to, or to make the steel or anything. So we'll start with the boiler over here. We're going to need to feed fuel into it, so I think what we're going to want is we're going to start with our power with our hives here in this corner, and this is the squeezer, and then we're going to take from the centrifuge, we're going to get oily propolis is the main thing that we're interested in. So if we centrifuge the oily combs, those turn into oily propolis and honey drops. Now, we don't want the honey drops here. We actually want the honey drops back at the lab. So I might actually need to make a couple more canvas bags here. And it occurs to me, I don't have any wooden pipes yet, nor do I have the engines to drive them, but I think I seem to recall hearing about these emerald pipes that could be quite useful for this situation. So we're going to try those out. And do I have any basic engines? All I need... See, I also could use arcade gates, but I don't have any of those made yet. Oops. Let's use this craft... No. Give me... Okay, let's see here. This should be like every other recipe. There we go. Emerald transport pipes. And now if we take this, we're going to pull off the side here and run it this way into the squeezer. So we got centrifuge going into squeezer. Now I'll also need to run pipes over the top. The part that I don't know, let's see, there we go. The part that I don't know is if I need to do anything to get items out of this item tesseract, or if it just sends things through. We're going to do owner only, receive only, and we're going to call this 900 oily combs. Boom. Check. There we go. So that's turned on. I'm hoping that this will just pass items directly into the centrifuge and we don't have to do anything special with it. We do need to get power over to this as well. Fortunately, in this bag, I have a bunch of redstone energy conduits that we've had hanging around. And I think I'm just going to bust this open right here and hook this up right from the side here. Just like so. Okay, so now what we're going to want here is we're going to want this to pull out the oily propolis. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that quite yet. We're actually going to need to run an oily comb through here, or possibly a couple of them, to get the oily propolis to send over. The next part of this, I need to keep that in my hand. We're going to need... Well, okay. That's because I needed to just click on it, not right-click. We want to have our refinery here. And now from the refinery, we're just going to go... You're supposed to give me liquiducts again. We're going to go this direction just a little bit. And we've got 5 of these tanks. We'll put the torch back somewhere else. There we go. One nice big tank there. That's going to be kind of our working reservoir. Then we're going to come over this direction. Come out one, because I want to put the... We're going to start with the smaller boiler, but I want to have it in the corner where I'd put the larger one if we decide that we need to upgrade it. Now let's switch that over. I don't have cobblestone down here. Oops. Get up there. Grab some cobblestone. Let's make a few levers, because we're going to need them. And we're going to start by only putting a lever on this one and this one. So anything that comes off of the refinery will go into the tanks and then back out over here. Now, let's go ahead and get our boiler set up. All of our components for that are in here. And of course, I have no inventory space to work with because this is Feed the Beast and you're not allowed to have any inventory space. Let's get those out of the way. There we go. All of the steel parts. Now, we are going to need a firebox. We're going to go with the liquid-fueled fireboxes. And in order to make a 2x2 boiler, we need 4 liquid-fueled fireboxes. And then we need... Did I do that right? Yes, we need 12 high-pressure boilers. There we go, just like so. Now we're going to take this. Those go like so. Whoa. And... Nope, we're not done yet. There we go. So this will hold up to 384,000 steam, holds 48,000 water. Oh, something I forgot to make, which I might have in... I'll have to look and see if I have it. I need an aqueous accumulator. We'll go and look at the factory before we finish this all up and see if we happen to have one of those hanging around. Now, in order to make this do something useful, we need to take the steam and actually power things. So let's start. We need conduits here. We're going to start with this, just kind of pointing them off to the side here. That's an input conduit. And I know that kind of makes that particular path useless, but we'll deal with that later. Now, with the steam boiler now, you don't actually need to apply redstone to the liquiducts in order for them to pick up the pick the steam up out of the boiler. You just have to connect the conduit to the case and route your pipes, and once it heats up, the steam will just automatically flow right through it. And then the engine, I believe, will need redstone. I think. So that should be sorted. And this particular scenario will, even if there's nothing using power off of this conduit, the steam engine itself will never blow up. And as long as we keep water in the tank, we shouldn't have any problems with our steam tank either. So the next thing we need to do is get... we still need to get the bees set up on the other side and automated. So let's head over to the bee factory and see if I have an aqueous accumulator over there. And I don't have to worry about accidentally starting up the system up until we're ready, because the output from the squeezer is turned off right now. I need to make sure that it only gets the oily propolis before I turn the output from the squeezer on. I don't think I have any of those combs. So let's go out here. And I put the diamonds in that bag. We are going to need some propolis. Fortunately, we've got a lot of that now. And let's take a look at these oily bees. Thank you. Okay, so we've got our... Oh, this one's actually hybrid. I don't like that. He's not supposed to be hybrid. I probably should fix this bee. Unfortunately, I don't have the power to fix him. Her. So the problem here is that I could run into a situation where I actually lose this purebred oily attribute. Now, that's not a problem entirely, because I do have plenty of... I've got the serums to make them again, but it is a problem getting it getting it running. So let's take a look here. We are going to need a good set of hives. I think what I want ultimately is kind of just a line of apiaries that are all hooked up, maybe with one space between each to make the pipes work easier. I'll have to think about that. Let's grab these 4 apiaries. And since this is actually production, maybe we'll use this back area here for oil production. Let's level out some ground a little bit here. Make some room to work. I think that'll do. Grab our apiaries. And we're going to stick them here. And make some more room. Like there we go. I need to go get some flowers for these guys. That one. Grab a couple of these flowers. Okay, so let's fly back up here. I'm going to stick a flower between those two and between those two. Perfect. Okay, so in order to make this work, let's go ahead and get these two mated and going. Both up. Yeah, we're going to have to apply some... We do need to apply some serums to the bees that we're using for this to get them faster. Let's do a quick check on one other thing for this bee. And I also want to bump their fertility so I can get more drones for melting. Even though I do have a lot of bees that are currently being melted, I also want to bump their lifespan up and bump their productivity up for this purpose. Now, what we are going to need is a wooden pipe. And we are going to need some redstone engines or similar. Long term we'll do auto gates. I might actually wait to hook the engine up until I can make some auto gates. I think I have enough power in the batteries at the factory to make at least one. And I suspect there's probably some extra batteries hanging around somewhere to get things going. What I really need to do is make sure that I can get enough power or enough fuel stockpiled to at least get the boiler above the, or into the boiling point. Oh, no, igneous extruder. There's a liquid transposer. That's not what I need. Okay, so we need some wood. And we need... Oh, I've got glass. Oh, there we go. Some glass. Okay. While we're here, let's go ahead and... we're going to make... Oh, duh. I know what I'm doing here. We need 2 diamonds to make our diamond pipes. There we go, and we're going to turn... I think we should only need 4 of them for what we're trying to do here. Okay, so we're going to put a wooden pipe. We'll go ahead, whoops. We'll go ahead and set this up on, darn it, on all 4 of these apiaries. No combs, unfortunately. And it's nighttime. Flip logged off a few minutes ago, so let's go ahead and go up to our little office area. I opened this up a little bit more. We've been having issues with the server eating itself alive on memory. That's also turning into lag issues as well. There we go. Now this bee's doing some stuff again. Okay, so I'm still trying. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that, and it's causing all sorts of problems. Okay, so into the black, we want any bees. Everything else will be closed except for red. Will be anything, I think. Okay, there we go. So anything's coming off this direction. I think we're also going to need some iron pipes to do what we're looking for. There we go. Let's see. Let's take this over one more and down. Actually, on the down part, we'll put an iron pipe in there. And I know this won't be the fastest that it could be, but once this is going, it should be perfectly fine. Now, let's see. These oily bees are only going to produce the oily combs. So for the time being, this will actually be fine. Hook that up. We're going to send only. So that should do what we need as far as the transport. Now all we got to do is hook up some, get some AutoCAD gates put in, and we're also going to need a lot more of these bees, as well as get them bumped up to the faster production. I think what I might do... See, the problem is these are slowly charging up because the blue electric engine is going. This bee, I need to wait for this bee to finish before I can do any other bees. I'm trying to get some industrious bees going, and right now I'm trying to get set up so that I can make the unweary bees. I needed a diligent princess, and it's taking a while for that to get switched over. So that's going to be a while. I don't think I'm going to be able to actually test this tonight. Going to do a little bit more work on it, try and get the gates hooked up, and for the... hopefully by the next episode we will have this thing up and running and get that whole boiler sorted out and producing power. The biggest power need that we have at the moment is the Buildcraft power. We're not currently doing a whole lot with Industrial Craft besides the Matter Fabricator, which is only hooked up to the nuclear reactor. And of course the nuclear reactor is not currently running either, because it needs thorium cells, and I haven't made a new canning machine for it. It also needs the reflectors and a bunch of other items as well. So that's going to be a little bit longer to get it up and running. Let's take a look around. I don't think I've changed anything else. I have collected a bunch more serums. I do plan on applying the fast productivity to the oily bees. I've got some noble, imperial. I've got 2 sets of imperial bees out here that are working. Right now, of course, they aren't bred together, but I need to analyze them. We got royal jelly and dripping combs all over the place. They're all high productivity. I also have some modest bees that I got, which we needed to make the oily bees. So those are doing their thing. I've also got that serum, so we can make more of them. And I think that's going to do it for this episode. And we'll have to do some more work on the bees as well as the steam power in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!